Hey Falcons fans, buckle up. The 2025 NFL offseason is in full swing, and the Atlanta Falcons are already making waves, some good, some, well, not so much. We've got a blockbuster story today that's going to hit you right in the feels, and trust me, you're going to want to stick around for this one. We're diving deep into a move the Falcons didn't make, one they're already kicking themselves over. And if that's not enough to get your blood pumping, we've got another massive NFL rumor swirling around the league that could shake things up for Atlanta in a way you won't believe. What is it? Well, you'll just have to stay tuned to find out. Let's just say it involves a game changer who could redefine this team's future. Drop a comment below. What's the one move you think the Falcons need to make this offseason? Let's get into it. Falcons fans, this is going to be a wild ride. But first, if you're a true Atlanta Falcons fan, don't wait. Hit that like button, subscribe, and turn on notifications. Only 1% of viewers actually subscribe. Let's change that. A small action that makes a huge difference. The Falcons' offseason so far. All right, let's set the scene. The Atlanta Falcons came into the 2025 offseason with big expectations. After a roller coaster 2024 season, head coach Raheem Morris and GM Terry Fontenot promised to be aggressive in building a roster that could compete in the tough NFC South. But let's be real, Falcons fans, what we got was underwhelming. The team made some solid, but not exactly earth-shattering, moves in free agency, signing guys like Leonard Floyd, Divine Deablo, and Morgan Fox. Decent players, sure, but are they the kind of names that scream Super Bowl contender? Not quite. The biggest splash Atlanta made wasn't a player signing, it was a coaching change. The Falcons parted ways with defensive coordinator Jimmy Lake and brought in Jeff Ulbrich, the mastermind behind the New York Jets' stingy defense. Ulbrich's arrival got fans buzzing with excitement, and for good reason. His Jets' defense was a brick wall, led by a pair of shutdown cornerbacks that had quarterbacks shaking in their cleats. But here's where things get juicy, Falcons Nation. There's one player from that Jets defense that Atlanta is kicking themselves for not signing. A player who could have transformed this defense into something truly special. Let's break it down. The big regret, missing out on DJ Reed. So, who's the player the Falcons are losing sleep over? None other than cornerback DJ Reed. That's right, Falcons fans, the former Jets standout who just inked a 3-year, $48 million deal with the Detroit Lions is the one that got away. And let me tell you, this stings. Atlanta already has one of the best cornerbacks in the game in A.J. Terrell, a lockdown defender who's been carrying the secondary for years. Last season, Terrell was paired with veteran Mike Hughes, who played well enough to earn a 3-year, $18 million extension. Solid, right? But here's the thing, solid isn't enough when you're trying to compete with the likes of Tampa Bay and New Orleans in the NFC South. DJ Reed was the missing piece. This guy is a proven, high-level starter who could have given the Falcons one of the NFL's most feared 1-2 punches at cornerback. Imagine Terrell and Reed locking down receivers on one side of the field while Jesse Bates III and Justin Simmons, 2 all-pro safeties, patrol the back end. Added a young, hungry front seven with upgrades like Leonard Floyd and Divine Deablo, and you're talking about a defense that could have been straight up nasty. But instead, Reed is suiting up for the Lions, cashing in on a $16 million per year deal. Atlanta had the chance to go after him, to make a bold move under Jeff Ulbrich's guidance, and they let it slip through their fingers. Why does this hurt so much? Let's dive deeper. Why DJ Reed was the perfect fit. Let's talk about why DJ Reed would have been a game changer for Atlanta. First off, this guy is a ball hawk. In his time with the Jets, Reed racked up 29 passes defended and 5 interceptions over 3 seasons, proving he can hang with the best receivers in the league. At 29 years old, he's still in his prime, with the speed, instincts, and physicality to match up against the NFC South's top weapons. Think Chris Olave, Mike Evans, and even rookie sensations like Malik Neighbors. Pairing Reed with A.J. Terrell would have given opposing quarterbacks nightmares. Defenses would have had to pick their poison, throw at Terrell and risk getting burned, or test Reed and face the same fate. And with Bates and Simmons cleaning up anything that gets past them, this secondary could have been the backbone of a defense ready to dominate in 2025. But it's not just about on-field production. Reid's familiarity with Jeff Ulbrich's system would have made his transition seamless. Ulbrich coached Reid in New York, so he knows exactly how to maximize his skill set. Plus, Reid's a high-character guy who brings leadership to the locker room, something the Falcons desperately need after last season's injury-riddled campaign. Speaking of injuries, that's where this missed opportunity hurts even more. Let's talk about it. The risks of standing pat. Here's the cold, hard truth, Falcons fans: Atlanta's secondary is one injury away from disaster. Last season, the Falcons got hit hard by injuries at cornerback, especially heading into their brutal matchup against the Denver Broncos. We all remember how that went. Bo Nix carved up Atlanta's defense like a Thanksgiving turkey, and the secondary was left scrambling. Mike Hughes is a solid starter, no doubt, but he's not on Reid's level. If Terrell or Hughes goes down in 2025, the Falcons are stuck relying on unproven depth players, and that's a recipe for disaster in a division as competitive as the NFC South. Having DJ Reid on the roster would have changed that equation. With Reid as the CB2 and Hughes as a high-end backup, Atlanta would have had the depth to weather injuries and keep their defense humming. Instead, they're rolling the dice, hoping their starters stay healthy. And with the Jalen Ramsey trade shaking up the cornerback market, the Falcons are out of options to add a high-level starter now. Raheem Morris and Jeff Ulbrich are crossing their fingers, but hope isn't a strategy, Falcons Nation. What could have been and what's next? So, let's play the what-if game for a second. Imagine a Falcons defense with A.J. Terrell and DJ Reid locking down the number 1 and number 2 receiver spots, Jesse Bates and Justin Simmons flying around in the secondary, and a front seven that's finally starting to gel under Ulbrich's scheme. That's a defense that doesn't just compete, it dominates. That's a defense that could have taken the Falcons from wild-card hopefuls to legitimate Super Bowl contenders. Falcons Nation, what do you think? Was missing out on DJ Reid the biggest mistake of the offseason, or should Atlanta focus on other priorities? Drop your thoughts in the comments below, and let's keep this conversation going. If you loved this breakdown, smash that like button, subscribe to the channel, and turn on those notifications so you never miss an update. And stay tuned for our next video, where we dive into that massive rumor that could change everything for the Falcons. As always, rise up.